I've been using the iPhone 17 Pro for about a month now, and I can already tell you this. I don't know why we still call these phones. This device has become my house key, wallet, music player, camera, video editor, and even Game Boy. It's a miniature supercomputer that occasionally makes calls, usually to tell me I've run out of iCloud storage. The thing about Apple is that every year they promise the most powerful iPhone ever, which is kind of like saying the wettest rain. Of course it is. But should you upgrade to this one? I've completely missed the titanium chapter in Apple's design storybook. This year's iPhone 17 Pro is made entirely of what Apple calls heat-forged aluminum, which sounds impressive until you realize it's the same aluminum used on MacBooks, iPads, and everything else with a bitten fruit stamped on it. And while that's fine for a laptop that lives on your desk, it's not ideal for something constantly slipping in and out of your pocket, or bouncing off the pavement when you miss the pocket entirely. Last year's 16 Pro was titanium. Harder, tougher, premium. You could drop it, ding it, and it would shrug it off. But aluminum? It scratches, it dents, it bends. The model I have is the base 256 gig 17 Pro in silver. Honestly, I don't think it's Apple's best looking phone, especially since the Apple logo is no longer centered on the phone, but centered on the back glass. And that new cosmic orange color, it looks like someone wrapped your phone in a high visibility jacket. But with a silver or midnight blue, the result is a utilitarian design that feels more like a professional tool than a fashion statement. One of the biggest internal changes is the addition of a vapor chamber. A vapor chamber is simply a miniature cooling system. It's a flat, sealed metal chamber with a small amount of liquid inside. When the chip heats up, the liquid evaporates, spreads the heat evenly, and condenses again to start the cycle over. It keeps the phone cooler during long video sessions, gaming, or editing. But don't worry, this new phone still becomes a furnace when the camera app launches in your pocket. If you're coming from an iPhone 14 Pro like me, you'll now get the action button instead of a mute switch, and a dedicated camera button on the opposite side. On the front, you get thinner bezels, and the display is brighter outdoors. It's not a night and day change, but it's undeniably a great screen to watch your content. Apple also introduced what it calls the Plateau, housing the new triple camera system, LiDAR, and flash. I chose the silver color mainly because of Scratchgate. There have been many reports that the anodized aluminum on the Cosmic Orange and Midnight Blue models were scraping off around the edges, specifically at the Plateau. It's a known limitation when anodizing sharp corners. For that reason, I recommend the silver at all costs. I would have loved for this new phone to have a titanium unibody. If the goal is to make this more appealing to working pros, durability is important for any tool. A titanium unibody would have made this the most durable iPhone ever. Yes, aluminum is the superior metal for thermal cooling, but would titanium really have ruined that? All three cameras are now 48 megapixels, which is great for detail and flexibility. The default settings will shoot in 24 megapixel, but you can select the full 48 megapixel in RAW if you don't mind the larger file sizes. Without any tweaking, the default photos look great. Apple even offers you different looks that can be baked into each photo you take. At the moment, I've been rocking with the Amber profile. When shooting in RAW, the flexibility and detail you get when capturing images really closes the gap, and that more than ever, I rarely bring my mirrorless camera with me on trips. The biggest change this year is in the telephoto lens, which now offers an impressive 8 times optical zoom, equivalent to a 200mm focal length. There aren't too many everyday use cases for it, but it's great to have for concerts or graduation photos. Personally, most of my shots are still taken with the main camera, which continues to be a reliable point-and-shoot performer in any lighting condition. Funny enough, my favorite camera on this iPhone isn't on the Plateau. It's the new front-facing camera. It's got 18 megapixel, 6 more than the previous generation, and it now lets you take horizontal selfies without rotating your phone. It also has center stage, so it widens automatically when someone joins your selfie or video call. And I won't be surprised if other phone companies catch on. Coming from an iPhone 14 Pro, the new camera control button on the right side is a welcome addition. Half press to focus, full press to shoot. It's neat, though if I'm honest, I forget it's there 90% of the time. Another big upgrade I was excited to test are the Pro video features. Full access to 4K 120fps recording, open gate, Apple Log 2, and ProRes RAW. I've been trying out Apple's Final Cut camera app and Blackmagic's camera app. The footage looks phenomenal. Rich, flexible, and dare I say, cinematic. But when I look back at what I shot in 2020 with my iPhone 12 Pro, when I was in Acadia National Park, videos shot on iPhone were always impressive, especially if you shot in a space with loads of light. There is also the new dual capture video mode, which allows you to shoot video with both the front and selfie camera simultaneously at a maximum of 4K 30 frames per second. I attached a small SSD on the back, which the Final Cut camera app automatically detects when choosing the ProRes RAW codec. Combine that with a cheap tripod mount, and honestly, it felt like a proper video camera. The only ongoing annoyance, the lens flare. 6 years later and it's still there, especially at night. Apple has made small improvements, but you still get those telltale green orbs in your footage and photos. The new A19 Pro chip is a beast. It runs console-quality games, edits 4K footage. Paired with the vapor chamber, it finally stays cool under load. The battery is also 20% larger than last year's 16 Pro. And it shows. Even though this is not the max model, this is easily the longest lasting iPhone I've used. I can shoot, edit, and scroll all day without running for a charger. Part of the reason is optimized battery charging. It learns your daily routine and pauses charging at 80%. If you leave your phone charging overnight, it will finish right before you unplug in the morning. That way, the battery spends less time sitting at 100%. It takes a few days to learn your habits, and it might not trigger if you're traveling a lot. But when it works, it's in the background and seamless. Combine that with a larger cell and improved thermals, and you've got a phone that easily lasts a full day. Whether Apple's optimization truly preserves long-term battery health remains to be seen. But the early signs are good. In case you're wondering how we went from iOS 18 to iOS 26, this is not a typo. Apple's now naming its operating systems after the year instead of the version. The biggest change you'll notice is the new liquid glass theme. It's this constantly shifting animated layer that reacts to light and motion as you move your phone. It sounds a bit gimmicky, but it's genuinely beautiful in person. You can even get your phone a muted frosted look that transforms every icon into a sheet of translucent glass. It can be occasionally buggy, but it is the most customizable iPhone interface yet. There's also a redesigned lock screen that dynamically adapts the clock and notifications around your wallpaper. Plus, a new 3D effect when you tilt your phone. It's subtle, but it gives the whole interface a sense of depth. And it should also be mentioned that the complete overhaul of the camera's UI is very much welcomed. Then, there's Apple Intelligence. Apple's AI assistant can summarize messages, rewrite emails, and even generate images. It's a solid first step, but I found it to be more of a novelty than a necessity. I ended up turning it off for the most part, and I still prefer ChatGPT for actual intelligence, which I did map to my action button as a shortcut. One feature that's actually useful is call screening. Now, when an unknown number calls, your iPhone picks up and shows a live transcript so you can decide whether to answer. There are also a few smaller upgrades worth noting. Hold Assist, which keeps your place in line when you're on hold, polls and wallpapers in Messages, and the improved battery optimization that we touched on before. So, iOS 26 isn't revolutionary. A lot of these additions were on Android years prior, but it is a nice visual change nonetheless. If you look at the iPhone lineup this year, the 17 Pro is like a pickup truck. Big, capable, and built to get work done. The iPhone Air is your two-seater supercar. Expensive, impractical, made from exotic materials, but absolutely stunning to look at. And the base iPhone, that's your Toyota Corolla. It won't turn heads or haul an RV, but if you just need something reliable that'll get you from A to B for the next decade, it's your best bet. Despite the high-vis orange and scratch-prone aluminum, the iPhone 17 Pro is a substantial upgrade. It's faster, cooler, and feels like a genuine tool rather than a fashion accessory. But as much as I want to recommend it full stop, I need to point out that the economics just don't make sense. Apple is quietly charging more for less. When you look at it, titanium costs significantly more per pound than aluminum. Hypothetically, even accounting for more metal being used in the unibody construction, these phones should cost less to make, not more. The base model now starts at $1,099. which is $100 more than the titanium version it replaces. Mostly that's because last year's base came with a smaller 128GB of storage. Still, I really wish Apple had kept that $999 starting point as a kind of a peace offering for switching to the cheaper aluminum build. The Pro used to justify its price because it felt like a luxury object. When Apple moved from aluminum to stainless steel with the iPhone X, that was the leap that made the iPhone feel worth $1,000. Now, they've gone back, and for the first time, the Pro models come in only 3 colors instead of 4, saving Apple even more on manufacturing. So yes, the iPhone 17 Pro is brilliant, but it's also a reminder that Apple's biggest competition isn't Samsung or Google. It's their own marketing department, trying to convince us year after year that incremental evolution is divine revelation. It isn't. It's just a very, very good phone. Thanks for watching. What do you think of the new iPhone 17 Pro? Will you spend your hard-earned money to upgrade? Or will you hold out till next year's offering? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. For me, the longer battery life, graphical power, and the new Pro video features made this worth upgrading from the 14 Pro. I was debating grabbing the regular iPhone 17 since it has the same ProMotion display and horizontal selfie camera, but I couldn't bring myself to give up the telephoto camera and the Pro video features. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, consider subscribing, and turn on notifications so you don't miss my next video. Until then, I'll catch you in the next one.